All right, guys, here we go again. Back to 1908. We've got the Boston Doves of the New York Giants. The Giants are 14-6, 2 games out of first, and are trying to keep up with the Cubs, who are awesome this year. I think in every single 1908 replay I've seen, the Cubs end up winning the whole thing and having an incredible team. It doesn't seem to matter which game you play with. Here's Claude Ritchie, and Ritchie rolls a 24 for a 13. That'll be a strikeout for Hooks Wiltsey. One away comes Bill Dahlin. Dahlin rolls a 52 for a 27. It's a ground ball to third. Devlin on to first. 2 away. Here's Joe Kelly. And Kelly rolls a 42 for a 14. Takes a walk there from Wiltsey. That'll bring up Dan McGann. It's a funny thing is the Giants in real life had the dominant offense, but for whatever reason in these replays, it tends to be the Cubs that do a lot better. McGann rolls a 32 for a 26. That'll be a ground ball to Doyle at second. Flips over to Bridwell covering at the bag. We go to the bottom of the first, and it's Mike Donlin. Donlin rolls a 31 for an 8. That's a ground ball to Dahlin on to first. 1 away. Fred Tenney rolls a 62 for a 12. There is a little E roll, and that roll is going to be a 13 within the range. That'll be changed to an 18. That's an error on Dahlin, and that puts Tenney on at first. And here comes Art Devlin, and we are actually not going to hit and run. The reason why is he doesn't have that 11, so we'll not do that. Next roll is a 14 for a 43 from Devlin. Fly ball left field. Kelly has it. 2 gone. Up is Larry Doyle, and he rolls a 31 for an 8. That's going to be a grounder over to the left side. Sweeney has it on to first. We go to the top of the second. It's Johnny Bates. Bates rolls a 33 for a 7. That'll be a single to right, and that brings up Bill Sweeney. So there's your first hit of the ball game. Bates does have an 11, and so he gets the magic button pushed. And Sweeney rolls a 14 for a 43. A little fly ball over to Shannon on the left. 1 gone. Ginger Beaumont now rolls a 16 for a 26. Ground ball. It's Doyle with it on the first. 2 gone. And Bates moves up to second here. Here comes Frank Bowerman, who rolls a 23 for a 32. Fly ball right field. It's Donlin who has that for the out. And we go to the bottom of the second. So quick moving game. Not much offense. Spike Shannon rolls a 13 for a 14, finds himself on first base after the walk. It brings up Al Bridwell. We will check. He does have it, so we'll do it. Hit and run. And this roll is a 35. I don't know how clearly you can see that. 35 for a 9. That hit and run on against the B, it turns into a ground ball over to the shortstop Dahlin. Throws to first, and Shannon moves up. So a good hit and run ground ball. And here's Cy Seymour with the first of 2 chances to drive the runner in. Well, and there we go. I think it's the first time I've dropped it all the way to the floor. So Cy Seymour up there has 8 RBIs. A little bit of power, not much. Rolls a 65 for a 35. It's a pop-up to the left side. Devlin. Sweeney has that for the out. 2 gone. Here's Tom Needham with a runner on at second. Tom rolls a 36 for a 33. It's a pop-up over to the shortstop. Dahlin has that. We go to the top of the third. Vive Lindemann. Lindemann is up here, the pitcher. Rolls a 23 for a 30. Fly over to left field. Shannon has that one. 1 gone. Claude Ritchie. Ritchie rolls a 32 for a 26. It's going to be the second baseman Doyle going to first. 2 away. And here's Bill Dahlin. Dahlin hitting 250, 305 on base percentage. Wiltsey having a good season, by the way. 1.77 ERA, but that 268 batting average makes you wonder. Rolls a 41 for a 28. Grounder over to short, and Bridwell throws to first. And here comes Hooks. Hooks Wiltsey throwing his hooks up there so far today, batting against Lindemann. Lindemann is 3-2 this season. 36 the roll, 13 the result. That's a strikeout, 1 away. First strikeout for Lindemann, 7th of the season for him. 2.49 ERA for Lindemann. You think that'd be pretty good, but that's not 1909 good. Here's Mike Donlin, who rolls a 62 for a 12. That's a ground ball over to the first baseman, McGann, who goes to the bag himself, 2 away. Fred Tenney's up there. He rolls a 54 for a 45. There's a little E roll, and that roll is a 34. So this will be out of the range. Fly ball right field. Bates has that one. We go to the top of the 4th inning. So it'll be Joe Kelly up here for Boston as they look to try to hold down the Giants, who are hoping to surge again. The roll for Kelly is a 31 for a 9. That's a single, and then he's caught trying to steal, 1 away. Dan McGann up there now. Rolls a 55 for an 8. That's going to be a ground ball over to the shortstop, and it's Bridwell who has that one on to first for the out, 2 away. Somebody had talked with me once about the polo grounds, the old polo grounds especially, and was wondering if it was the hitter's park or a pitcher's park. I would argue that there were some days where it was a hitter's park, and then there were days like this. Johnny Bates rolls a 54 for a 45. Fly ball right field. Donlin has it, and we go to the bottom of the fourth. Art Devlin up, rolls a 65 for a 35. Foul, and it's over to the left side. Sweeney has that. One gone. Larry Doyle rolls a 46 for a 29. Come back over to Lindemann. Throws to first. 2 away. Spike Shannon up now. Rolls a 21 for a 30. That'll be another fly over to Kelly and left, and we go to the top of the fifth. Bill Sweeney is the hitter for Boston, and he rolls a 55 for an 8. That's a grounder over to Bridwell. Throws to first. 1 gone. Ginger Beaumont rolls a 52 for a 27. Ground ball to Devlin, who throws to first. 2 away. Here is Frank Bowerman, and he rolls a 46 for a 29. That'll be a comebacker over to Wiltsey and throws to first. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Here's Al Bridwell. Bridwell rolls a 24 for a 13. It's a strikeout for Lindemann. 1 away. Cy Seymour, he rolls a 53 for a 16, changed to 22. That's going to be a ground ball over to McGann. Flips over to Lindemann, covering at the bag. 2 away. And here now, Tom Needham. Needham has not had a hit yet this season. Only one at bat so far. Rolls a 25 for a 9. It's a pop-up over to the left side. Sweeney has that for the out. We go to the top of the sixth. And it's Vive Lindemann again. He rolls, a 15 for a 9, but Wiltsey's now a C, so it's just a little pop-up over to Devlin, the third baseman, for the first out. Claude Ritchie will roll a 36 for a 33. Here's that little E. Rolls a 41 out of the range. It's a pop-up over to the second baseman. Doyle has that. 2 gone. Bill Dolan now. Bill Dolan rolls a 22 for an 8. There's a single to left center field, so that's hit number 3 for the Doves. That brings up Joe Kelly. Runner on at first base, 2 outs, so we'll play it smooth. And Kelly rolls a 21 for 30. It's a fly over to center. Seymour has that. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and it's going to be Hooks up there again. Hooks Wiltsey for the Giants. He rolls a 61 for a 13 and strikes out. 3 strikeouts for Lindemann. Here is Mike Donlin. Mike rolls a 43 for a 29. Comebacker over to Lindemann. Throws to first. 2 gone. Fred Tenney. Ooh, and there you go. He rolls a 44 for a 7, and there's a single to right. That's the first base hit the Giants have had all game. And, of course, Boston hasn't been able to do anything, so that actually looms large. Runner on first base, is Tenney. 3 hits for Boston, 1 for New York here in the bottom of the 6th. It's Devlin up there with 2 outs, and we're going to send the runner. Rolls a 65 for a 35, and that's going to be a strike, and Tenney is able to steal safely. This is one of the reasons why you have to make sure he's got the 10 or 11 or whatever. So Tenney steals the bag. Runner now on second base for Devlin. Devlin, 14 RBIs this season, and he rolls a 56 for a 34. It's a high pop-up over to Ritchie, and the second baseman has it for the out. We go to the top of the 7th inning, so that was much ado about nothing, wasn't it? Here's Dan McGann. Rolls a 36 for a 33, and here's the little E roll. This rolls a 23, just missing the range. That's as close as you can possibly get without hitting, and Doyle catches that pop-up for the first out. Johnny Bates rolls a 45 for a 14, and that's a walk, and so the Doves do get their base runner. That'll bring up Bill Sweeney, and it's time to bunt. Somebody was saying on a video just the other week that back in the dead ball era, the second man was known as the sacrifice man, and that's what Sweeney is here. It rolls a 65 for a 35, which is not what you want to have here in this game. Lily rolls a 31 out of the range, and that's a bunt back to the catcher. It's Needham who has that one. Gets it on to Dolan at second for 1, and back on to Ritchie covering at first for the double play. Talk about your rare plays. Not every day you see that one. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning, still 0-0. 3 hits for the Boston Doves, 1 for the New York Giants. Here is Larry Doyle, who's hitting 265. He rolls a 23 for a 32. Fly ball over to Bates in right field, 1 gone. Spike Shannon now rolls a 34 for a 44, and here's the little E roll. This rolls a 56 out of the range. Fly ball center field. Beaumont has that for the out, 2 gone. Al Bridwell up, and he rolls a 63 for a 31. It's going to be Beaumont again, and we go to the top of the 8th. 0-0 the score, and here's Ginger Beaumont, who is 0 for 2 today. 185 his average. He's had a lot of offers this year. Rolls a 21 for a 30, and it's a fly ball to Shannon and left. That'll be 0 for 3, my friend. 1 out. Here's Frank Bowerman, who's had his share of offers. Rolls a 41 for a 28. Ground ball to short. Bridwell on the first, 2 away. And Lindemann, of course, staying in there, throwing a gem. Rolls a 21 for a 32. That's hit to right field. Donlin has that. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's Cy Seymour. And he rolls a 45 for a 14 and walks. We're going to take a look, and he does have that magic number. Needham up there is going to be a hit and run. And the rule's a 25 for a 9. That's going to be a ground ball over to the shortstop. Dahlin throws on to first. Seymour makes it to second. One away. And here's Hooks Wiltsey. And I pause for a moment as I think about what it is that we want to do. I mean, the problem that I have are those 13s. I think, though, that with the runner on second, the 13 won't hurt us too much. The roll's a 53 for a 21, and that's a bunt over to McGann, the first baseman, and he boots it for an error. And so Hooks is on at first. Seymour makes it all the way over to third. Bottom of the 8th inning. Runners on at first and third for the Giants. And the fans here in the afternoon of this New York 1908 New York day are going absolutely wild. The infield will come in. Mike Donlin now the hitter, and he is hitting only .359 this season, 20 RBIs. This is why you put your big man first, man. You want this guy hitting first, so he's in this position. Wiltsey is very, very slow, of course, for a pitcher. Seymour's on at third. The infield comes in. We're not going to bunt. The roll is, you see that, 33 for a 0, and this next one will probably end this game. 42 for a 2. That is a triple for Donlin that will score 2 to extreme right field. So that one gets past Bates all the way over to the deep part of the ballpark. You know, the polo ground is going to be up there. And Donlin winds up on third base by the time that ball comes back in. And here comes Fred Tenney. There's no point in playing the infield in now. 1 away, 2-0 Giants. Tenney rolls a 51 for a 9. That's a fly ball to center. Beaumont has it, but it's deep enough, and that scores the runner. 2 away. Here's Bart Devlin, 3-0 New York. Devlin rolls a 65 for a 35. Foul ball, third base, and it is Sweeney who has that for the out. And we go to the top of the 9th. 3 runs on 2 hits is all for the Giants. And boy, doesn't that error loom large. And here comes Claude Ritchie for the Doves. 3 more outs to go. He rolls a 44 for a 7. That's a base hit off of Wiltsey. That won't be enough. Hit number 4 for the Doves, and up comes Bill Dahlin. And there's no point in bunting. Tell you that much. Dahlin rolls a 16 for a 26. It's a ground ball over to Doyle, who flips to Bridwell for 1. They throw to first, not in time. 1 away, and here's Joe Kelly. Joe rolls a 35 for a 40. That's going to be a ground ball over to Tenney, who flips to Bridwell. Try to go back to first. Again, no luck on the double play. 2 gone, and here's Dan McGann. McGann rolls a 33 for a 7, and that's going to be a single to right center field. And unfortunately, the runner attempts to advance to third base, but Beaumont throws over to Sweeney and gets him, and that will do it. And so with the good arm out there by Beaumont, he's able to prevent the runner from advancing to third, and that's the end of this ball game. 5 hits for the Doves and no runs. Giants win this one, 3 runs on only 2 hits. And that will put Wiltsey at 4-1, and it should be 5. Yeah, 4-1, I think. Giants will go to 15-6 and are trying to keep up with the Chicago Cubs. Hope you've enjoyed this game. Talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.